Economic hardships force more and more people to migrate to urban areas, putting a greater strain on urban infrastructure and social facilities. This in turn exerts more pressure on the environment. Heaps of garbage are now a common sight in most Kenyan urban centers as the growing population in these areas continue to amplify the environmental danger that is posed by the mounting volume of solid and liquid waste generated by high consumption and industrialization at a pace that the country cannot sustainably dispose of. The influx of people from rural to urban centers has far outpaced infrastructural development, exerting pressure on the existing resources.
Hapa dumping place ya Kabarnet tunajua ni mbaya na imewekwa kwa katikati ambapo ni source. So kuna mtoni pande ule mwingine na kuna mtoni yenye inapanda juu, kwa hivyo ni katikati ya source ya maji, na ikinyesha takataka yote chafu yote sinaoshwa na inapelekwa kwa wenyeji wakati huko chini. So tumeathirika sana.
Most of our urban centers do not have working sewer systems. The ones that are there are already congested. If you talk of Kiambu, for example, the sewerage system in Kiambu can only accommodate 720 households. And every day, the houses that are being constructed in Kiambu County, the Kiambu town, there are very many.
The resources are limited or are strained. We have to grapple with the challenge of sewage disposal, the challenge of pollution, and many other environmentally related challenges. And we can see this in virtually all our cities in this country.
The urbanization wave has resulted in the mushrooming of informal settlements like Kibera and Mathare slums here in Nairobi. These settlements are characterized with poor sanitation and sewerage systems, a primary threat to both human health and the environment, especially contamination of water sources.
That congestion is not good for human health, because if you have a situation where people cannot dispose of their waste, either from domestic or human waste, then you are creating an environment which is a breeding places for diseases, and that can have a lot of problem in terms of an epidemic of any sort.
Influx of people in towns leads to increased demand and competition of space and available necessities like public transport. Most vehicles on our roads are not environmental friendly, emitting carbon gases that not only have adverse effects on the people's respiratory health, but leads to irreversible climate change.
The road transport system or network can barely contain the number of vehicles that we have on our roads.
A similar scenario affecting climate change is also depicted by dump sites like the Ndora dump site in Nairobi that is now an environmental hazard, emitting methane and other greenhouse gases from the decomposing garbage. If these harmful gases find their way into the atmosphere, it changes the concentration of carbon dioxide, nitrous oxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, resulting in dramatic climatic changes such as abnormal downpour, thus El Nino, extreme drought like the one experienced in 2011 in the northern part of Kenya, forest degradation, as well as affect agricultural crop yields, among other negative effects. Join me in part 2 as we explore the possible interventions to mitigate climate change. For saving the planet, I'm Abigael Sum.